Why is it that every guy I know above the age of like 35 who is married or has been married and has kids, why is it that every single one of them tell me not to get married and to have kids, and then every single female woman I know above the age of 35, every one of them tells me to have kids and to get married? Like, the older that these people get, the older men get, the more of them tell me don't get married, don't have kids. The older the women are, the more they tell me get married and have kids. Like my grandparents, right? My grandmas, my aunts, they're always telling me get married and have kids. My uncles and grandfathers, the older they are in the family, the more they try to drill it into you. Don't do this. Don't do this. And I the disconnect is crazy, because you're telling me one of these people, like, and also they got married in like the 70s and 80s, bro. You can't do marriage doesn't work today.
Shout out to the content creator. I get his message, man. I get his sentiment. It's funny because I was hearing this not as much when I was growing up, but I really only heard it. Yeah, I heard it from the married dudes. I did. It was kind of like a hush hush, like, hey, nephew, let me tell you something. Hey, boy, don't get married. Hey, don't get married. That was kind of like they pulled you to the side, and it was almost like they'll tell you they love their wife, right? But it was like, oh, don't get married. You know what I'm saying? And for me, like, now that I can reflect, because I am married, I still got married. And I wouldn't say that would be my message to the guys out there. I say do get married. But what I'm not gonna say is don't get married and don't give you a reason behind it, right? Or don't give you no breakdown on why that is. And if I do tell you get married, I'm gonna tell you why you should, right? I'm gonna give you the good and the bad. Now, let me address, before I address my point on it, right? Let me address what he said and kind of help break that down a little further. So he's saying basically there's two groups, right? The older men over 35, like, hey, don't get married. The women over 35, like, do get married and have kids, right? So let's address the men first. All right. So a lot of times the men who are married over 35, they didn't put themselves in position first to make sure that A, they have leverage in their marriage, and B, they was actually ready. Now, there's this saying that people say, there's no book on marriage, right? Same thing like there's no book on raising kids. All right, cool. But at this point, we've seen so many examples. We've learned so much on, there actually might be a book now on how to go about getting married and how to prepare yourself beforehand before getting married. But for me growing up and hearing it from a lot of my uncles and a lot of my friends and just other men around, a lot of them guys, number one, they didn't wear the pants in their marriage. I'm gonna just call it a spade a spade. They didn't. They were out of shape. A lot of them was, again, they was getting humped over. They was humped over, like, out of shape. They were losing teeth. You could just tell they kind of lost themselves in the marriage, right? And so they allowed their wife to take control of the marriage. I'm being straight, man, straight up with you. If it was 10 guys, it might have been one who had control of their marriage. And that don't mean that he's running around, that one dude running around with his chest pumped out and have his wife, quote unquote, like a slave, I'm not saying that. You could just tell, like, wait, kind of like he was the leader in the household. Everybody followed him lock and step on how he moved. He moved the right way, though. You follow me? And then the other guys were just drinking beer, just lollygagging with life. They ain't even have life insurance, a lot of them. They didn't have no money saved. They constantly like, oh man, I got to get my car fixed. They never went on vacation, never took their family nowhere. They didn't dress right. You know what I'm saying? Again, they didn't take care of themselves when it comes to their physicality, just their hygiene and stuff. And again, good dudes, but they didn't have the leverage because they didn't upkeep themselves as they got married. And listen, I understand that things change when you get kids and you get married, right? However, what cannot change is you constantly building a future for your kids. You see what I'm saying? There has to be sacrifices in a point of contention of this marriage. Like, you cannot fall off and expect your wife to pick up the pieces. You just can't do it. And that's what I think. So a lot of dudes who get up of age, like my sentiment, kind of like when I like me reflecting on it, because again, they was telling me I was younger and I was coming of age. But me looking back at it now, it's almost like, man, I messed up. It was almost like the message was, nephew, don't get married until you absolutely ready because I messed up. That's kind of what I'm getting from it. Right. But they won't tell you the nuances behind it. They just, oh man, don't get married. They stressed out. Again, they overweight, they beat down, they injured from work, whatever it is, teeth missing. You know what I'm saying? Don't got a haircut. You know, they looking crazy. And now on the female side, a lot of them like, yeah, get married, have kids, because honestly, a lot of them are in a situation where they have this mental clock. I remember dating a girl, man, I think she was like 30. I might have been like 24 at one time, I think. And she wanted to have kids when she first met me. I'm like, girl, pump that bread. I'm only 24, going up on 25. And you know, it was a situation like they rush and they want to have kids because they've had their fun. Right? They like, I need to have locked down a family now because mentally my time running out. I didn't have kids early, so I need to have it now. I need to get stable. And they see you young and you ambitious and they see your upside. They trying to lock you down. Like he seems like what he even speaking, you can kind of tell like, bro kind of on this point. I can kind of tell like he's trying to listen, he's trying to figure it out. I ain't saying he got everything figured out, but he like, man, why is this? He asking the right questions. You follow me? But that's really what it come down to on the women's part. They have this natural mental clock where they feel like they need to have kids early and get, not early, but at a certain point before, because we all know women's real, how can I say this? Women's real timeline as far as like for them at the highest of their kind of like cycle of being hot-ish, right? Is really from like 18 to like 26, 27 if they maintain. So by the time they get to their 30s, a lot of them had their fun. A lot of them had their fun. They like, look, maybe I got out of it with one kid, no kids. Hell, you know what I'm saying? All right, now, because I had my fun, I need to lock somebody down. And so now they telling the young boy, trying to get him the game, which ain't the right game. Nah, bro, you need to lock in. So the young boy, his age, he real young. He need to lock in. He need to worry about his career, his finances. So that would be, so now that's his message. Now, based on my message, right? Young boys, man, listen, yes, get married, but not until you put some things in place, right? You put some building blocks in place, right? You put a couple stakes in the ground. That's when you get married. And a lot of it comes, make sure you physically fit because you're going to have to run around them kids, right? You're going to have to burn more man hours to upkeep your family a certain way. And, you know, keep people happy from taking the kids here and there, ripping them running. You got your career. You got to worry about your wife. You got to worry about your family. You got your extended family like mom and stuff like that you worry about. You constantly ripping running. So you need to make sure you take care of your body, which in turn going to help you take care of your mind, right? The second thing is get your money right. Again, that ain't mean you got to be rich and on point, but at least have built some skills to a point where when you get married, if you even, let's say you in a career that you want to be in, you actually, you know, making money where you can support a family, things happen, right? You might get fired. You may be like, man, the industry's changing. I need to get up out of here. But you built some skills where you can be transferable no matter where, right? And hell, we know divorce happened, but you stayed in shape. So if for whatever reason, God willing, you have to leave that relationship and start anew, you're not starting all the way over. You've already in your career, you got your money right. So it's nothing for you just to transfer into a new situation. But a lot of guys who were probably telling you, the uncles and stuff, I guarantee them guys, man, a lot of times, if they fall off in their marriage, and a lot of them can't do it without their wives. Truth be told, a lot of dudes can't make it without their wives. So if they fall off, if that situation, you know, falls through and they separate, a lot of them guys, it's over with. It's over with. They late in their 40s or whatever. They can't make it back. They ain't gonna make it back. Let me just say it like that. It's over with. So a lot of them dudes need women, unfortunately. But as a young man, you should never be in a situation where you need a woman. You should be in a situation where you want a woman, right? Because at that point in your life, you've built enough for you at that point, say, hey, I can take care of myself. And if I bring a woman in, I can support a family as well. So at this point, I want a woman because I want to build something right with the right woman, right? And I want to build a family and, you know, take this life forward. So, but you don't want to do that. I mean, I won't say if you on the come up, just don't take on any woman, but maybe take a woman that's on your same level who grinding like you grinding. If you're going to take one while you're on your way up. But in my opinion, that's honestly the best way because y'all can grow together. Y'all can make mistakes early together. And then, you know, it's not as hard to fix those mistakes. But later, when y'all both are older in y'all ways, it's harder to fix those because both people kind of set in their ways. So anyway, that's my little 10 cents. But I hope that makes sense, man. I hope that makes sense. But shout out to the content creator. That was some great message that he's hearing. So I'm glad. Hopefully I shed some light on the perspective of it. And if you got a lot of value from this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video off for anybody who needed his message. And with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.